And welcome to 100 Huntley Street. Thank you for joining us today. Cheryl, did you know that today is Random Acts of Kindness Day?
It is?
It is.
Who knew?
Well, I did. That's why I just told you.
You know, I gotcha.
Well, sometimes people get overwhelmed. Oh, I can't do kind things because you have to plan it and it costs so much. But it doesn't have to be, a huge or a grandiose gesture. It can be even free stuff. You can shovel a walkway for somebody at the end of your streets. You can help somebody put, groceries in their trunk. Sometimes the smallest gestures can, have a very powerful impact. So I thought I would like to do a little gesture today. That I reach into my pocket.
For me?
For you. Ta-da!
Oh my gosh, you know me so well. Okay, Starbucks gift cards, one of my favorite gifts to get. I'm so easy. I don't understand why this means so much to me, but coffee's love, right?
And that put a smile on your face? And it didn't cost very much, right?
I don't know why. It doesn't say how much is on it, but anything is good.
It's a $10 gift card, so you should be able to get one drink at Starbucks with that.
That's true. That's why I need gift cards, because I can't spend my own money on it.
Yeah. No, but it's a little thing. And so we just want to encourage people today. Just if there's somebody who's been on your heart or on your mind, just give them a call, shoot them a text. I don't know, take them out for a coffee. It doesn't have to be anything major. And so what we want to do is we want to celebrate by connecting with someone that we know on the show, and we call him Captain Kindness himself. And he's joining us in Brantford, Ontario with Greg Howe, and this is a really cool piece.
They say that kindness is actually kind of like a superhero. And joining me to explain why is Captain Kindness himself, Dave Carrol.
How you doing?
Good. Thanks, man. Thanks for joining us in beautiful Brantford, Ontario.
Welcome to my hometown. You picked the coldest day of the year.
It's cold, it's gray.
But what better day to go and play kindness games, to be able to go and use kindness to be able to brighten people's day.
That's right. And on International Day of Random Kindness, it's perfect. Now, I need a little help in that department.
Do you?
I'm a rough and tumble kind of gruff.
Rotate with me.
Rotate, like turn around and okay, around this way.
I have an idea. I love giving away red balloons. I'll tell you why in a minute, but you want to play red balloon kindness? You want to go and do that with me?
Do tell.
Let's go do it. I have an idea. You wait here?
I'll wait here?
You wait here. You wait here.
Dave, I'll just wait here?
You wait there.
I'll wait here. Dave, do I still wait here? Dave, what? It's not my birthday, Dave. Come on.
Let me tell you something about balloons and kindness.
Yeah.
When a balloon enters the room or you hand out a balloon to somebody, they go, oh, a balloon.
A balloon.
It's just this light feeling of like, oh my goodness, my day just got a bit brighter. So what if, say, we hand out some of these balloons to people who are walking by?
Transforms the room.
You want to try it?
It could transform their day.
Buddy, your life will never be the same.
Dave, do you think it's strange two men in black coats handing out red balloons?
Not me, not for my life. Little random acts of kindness are just a reminder that you're cared for and you're loved.
I appreciate that, and I believe in paying it forward. That's what I do a lot.
Amazing.
I think more people should.
You have a wonderful day.
You as well.
We lost a few red balloons. Not every kindness adventure goes exactly according to plan.
Right.
Yeah,
We do the best we can.
that's right. Would you like a little red balloon? It's nothing like a balloon, right?
Doing little random acts of kindness. Would you like maybe a red balloon?
It's World Kindness Week, and we're talking about why kindness is important. Why do you think it's important?
It's showing God's love to people,
Yeah.
and I think that's really important that people feel loved.
I think about my mom's birthday last week. I'm gonna give it to my mom. Actually, she's gonna find this hilarious.
I'm gonna hold them so they don't disappear up into the air.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
How do you kind of teach and model the idea of kindness and pass it along to your family and to your kids?
Yeah, like I said, you just live it and breathe it. It's every day. You just let it completely be your lifestyle, I would say.
Beautiful.
Lead by example.
Dave, that went rather well, wouldn't you say?
The thing is that it always goes well. Like there's a scripture in Romans that said that the kindness of the Lord leads people towards Him, leads people to repentance. And the thing is that you can do a lot of things in a community, but kindness is one of those. It's a fruit of the Spirit. Against such things there are no laws. So you do a little act of kindness. It is disproportionately effective to be able to brighten people's days.
It's so true. It goes such a long way to transforming people's day, their lives, their mood. It's a simple thing.
And collectively in a community, all these little things, when you make it an accumulation of it, it genuinely changes how the community sees itself as well.
You're a deep, deep, wise man.
Just
with warm hands.
Just a guy with a cape.
That was awesome.
That was so much fun. I like it when Dave says when a balloon enters the room. It's like, did the balloon
So
enter
dramatic.
the room or did you enter the room? Because I think it takes a person
Yeah.
for a balloon to enter the room.
Well, he said red can bring joy. And look at all the joy you're bringing, Miss Red,
So
over
much
here.
Joy, and of course you're bringing joy with your present.
Yes.
But I have to say, I think balloons are like they're kind of funny and fun,
Mm-hmm.
and what a great idea! And you could see the joy on people's faces, like wow. And you know who needs some of that joy?
Yeah.
Seniors.
You know what? It's such an overlooked group. The other day, I went to have lunch with my mom, and I hadn't been able to see her. I'd been traveling, and she sends me this text, "Oh, I'm home by myself today." You're like, "Oh, breaks your heart. Let's go have lunch." So we go and we have lunch. And then this older lady walks in, and she has like an oxygen tank, and she has a walker. She's really struggling to get in. She gets her food. And I just offered like to clean her table for her, and I stacked everything up and I put it in the garbage. And she goes, "Oh, you are such a nice boy." And she looks over at my mom. "Is this your son?" "Yes." My mom is gleaming with pride. You know, I tell that story because it doesn't take a lot. It costs me nothing.
That's
and
right.
we know that seniors, and studies show this, and even without studies, you can see it. They're struggling with their mental health, and their optimism about aging is declining because they feel so alone. They feel forgotten. You know, and I know that sometimes they need to go into a home for, you know, one reason or the other, but it's so important that we remember them because it's really a difficult stage of life. You know, they're losing friends all the time,
Yeah.
and every day it's like maybe physically they're declining, and we can see why they're dropping into depression at alarming rates.
It's getting worse, and I think it's
Yeah.
because many times, you know, we live in a very busy time. We're very distracted by our devices.
Yeah.
We're doing our own thing, and you know, this culture, like, and many of you are from cultures from around the world that you know,
Mm-hmm.
seniors are treated well. Many times they'll live with you in their older age. Like, there
Yeah.
are cultures I think that I look to when I travel the world for Crossroads Cares, and I go, I love the way that you care
Yeah.
for your seniors and respect them, and I think we need to regain that here. And so I think, you know, if how we care for our seniors says a lot about who we are as a society. And I think if you have a senior in your life, just phone him up today.
Yeah.
Just ask him out for lunch like he did. Or if you see a senior out, you know, just stop and talk to them for 5 minutes. How are you doing? How's your day? And I think that can make all the difference.
That's right. Well, you know, kindness that changes the world, it usually begins with the heart that's been changed. And, you know him as Captain Kindness. You just met him. But it wasn't always like that. So take a look at his story.
So, Dave, here we are. It's warmer. We're in your church, Freedom House in Brantford.
You can do random acts of kindness inside or outside, but I prefer outside in the winter. It's more authentic. You know?
You really do feel alive.
Yes.
But we brought a bit of the outside inside with the balloons. We placed them in your church.
I love balloons because when you see a balloon when you walk in the room, you're like, oh, a balloon. Something's happening in here. And when we were looking at kindness, I really had a dream that kindness can be this interconnected thing, that all these different areas of the community come together to be able to transform a community. And it's true. But it has to be meaningful and small for it to be real and legitimate. And when you walk into a room and you see a balloon, you go, oh, wow. And it's like that with kindness. When it's genuine and it's towards somebody with a little bit of lightness and care, it can change something significant. But you do that collectively, and it's macro significant, you know.
It's so true because you see a balloon, you're like, I don't know what's happening there, but I want to be there.
Absolutely.
I want to be part of that.
Oh, there's a party here.
Yeah,
A
that's
balloon.
right. But there was actually a time in your life, you were saying when you were younger, that maybe Captain Kindness wasn't as kind.
I live with a great irony. and I have people in the community here who will every now and again remind me and go, Dave, you know you used to bully me. I'm a guy that likes to tell jokes, but often the funny people, the class clowns when you're young, are living with a lot of insecurity and even self-loathing, and I live with that. I was anorexic for a while. I was overweight, then anorexic. I dealt with a lot of things. Part of that played out with me being angry at even Christians. I would target Christians because I grew up going to church and I knew what the Bible said, and I knew that not all Christians lived up to that with their life. And now I'm one of those hypocrites because none of us can live up to it. But it was these things in my own little bits of self-loathing that lived inside of my heart as I'm just eschewing the truth that I know to be true, and I just couldn't find the light, and I couldn't find freedom, and the jokes were at my own expense, but then it rippled into others' expense. I've written an article and articles and talk sometimes about how Captain Kindness was an anorexic teenage bully. And even in this Captain Kindness persona, I have a real heart for the bullies, because bullies are often people who are hurt and don't have that assurance of they are worthy and they're enough. And so if kindness is something good that you do, and if something good that you are, sometimes the biggest stumbling block is we don't believe that we are worthy or we are worth something. And so it's hard to be able to genuinely reflect it. And so while I say I live with a great irony, it's all actually living with a great testimony of what Jesus can do in a life and then how he can use that.
Take me back to that moment when you were younger and you weren't feeling so great. Things were, maybe you were living in a bit of a cloud, but someone in your class turned around and asked you a simple question. What was that question?
Well, I mean, the question was, do you want to talk? And the person was the person who I've now been married to since 1998.
So something worked out there.
It all worked out great.
Yeah, perfect.
It all worked out great. But Greg, I was really at a super low point. In fact, I had just had my mom reach out to my guidance counselor and said, "Can you do something with David? Maybe you can help." I'm like, "What is going on here?" My mom was like, I don't know what to do with you, Dave. Like, I don't know what to do with you in your life. And I had drank my way through my senior years of high school, and I'd come back for my 6th year of high school, and I had no motivation, no direction. All I wanted to do was tell jokes and drink and get drunk, and that's not sustainable in life. And I was at my lowest point, and I put my head down in my history class, and I'm like, I'm on the verge of tears here. And this little girl with blue sweatpants and a woolly sweater looked back and asked, "Would you like to talk?" And I realized that nobody had ever really asked me if I wanted to talk. And it turns out it was this young girl from my brother's youth group. And I was the prodigal of this youth group. And so I didn't know that this whole group was praying for me. And I began to talk out what I describe as just this venom that was inside of me. And she listened to me and listened to me and listened to me. And then one day she had had enough of listening to me, and she goes, "Dave, you either need to give your life to Jesus or this isn't going to work, because I can't talk you through all these things. There is a Savior that you need, and it's the only way you're going to be able to find freedom from these things that just have poisoned you inside."
He came into class, into the library, and he looked like something was wrong, like he wasn't doing well in this instance. And I just, I asked him, "Are you okay?" And he's like telling me that he had just partied the night before. Here I'm thinking something's wrong in this instance, but it's not. And I said I didn't have any sympathy for him. So I was compassionate and wanted to talk with him and enjoyed talking with him. But then I also told him the truth, right? Like, if you're doing stupid things, I was going to have any compassion for you, right? That was kind of the stage of our friendship. But then it came to a point where he was at the back of the classroom, and he was crying. And so we had talked enough where I felt like I could reach out and just say, "Do you want to talk?" And at that point, he said yes. So he was someone who we were praying for, saw that stuff was going on, and just took that opportunity. And so we talked in the library, I think that day after school, and he just started spilling his story. And so I listened for a few minutes, let him get out the things that were frustrating him, what he was struggling with at home and just in life. And then he told me that years ago he had a relationship with Christ. And as soon as he said that, I kind of stopped listening to him, because I knew what the answer was, right? And so he talked for a few more minutes, and at that conversation, I essentially just told him what his problem was, is that he had turned from God, and that he was running away, and that he needed to make his life right with Christ.
All of a sudden, I started weeping, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. Something's going on. I left my high school. I started walking home. The trees were greener. the sky was brighter. And I thought, something's going on here. I got home and I'm like, I apologized to my mom for what I had put her through, and she goes, "Do you want to accept Jesus?" And I said, "I think so, but I don't want this to be based on emotion because I know what this means, and if I do this, this is it for my life. And so, give me a second."
Right.
I went to church that night, and the guy who was preaching could have been playing the spoons that night, and I would have given my life to Jesus. And since then, it has been, I had to go back to high school the next day, and people would ask me, "Where are we going drinking at lunch?" And I had to say to a big group of 30 friends at my high school table, "Actually, I'm done. I accepted Jesus over the weekend. I made some major life choices. Right. I didn't inform you on."
How was your weekend, Dave? Well,
and I lost some of those friends temporarily. Almost every one of them I'm still friends with now. Many of them came to me afterwards and said, "Hey, I respect you making these decisions." And so many, it's been great because our adult relationship is based on some really, really wonderful things. This actually brings life inside of me and life flows out of me. It's the cup of cool water in Jesus' name thing. You need to be able to drink the living water. In Hebrew, it's living waters, mayim chayim. It's this living water, and I love it because it rhymes, and it sounds like, oh, mayim chayim. Isn't that?
We're just really two simple guys, aren't we?
Absolutely. It's a little poem. Isn't that great? It's a balloon. Oh, a cup of cold water. Oh. But it brings you to life, and it allows you to genuinely be a life giver to somebody else. And we get lost in the vastness of this world, and sometimes in the murkiness of it, and we feel like it's hard to be able to go, how do I deal with my own life and my own problems while I watch this on the news in the morning and this on the news? Jesus' strategy is kindness and blessing, and that grounds us to be able to breathe so we can function with that living water in and living water out. And then it becomes normal and natural, and all the other things flow out of it. It flows out of it, and it's not as hard as we think that it is to be able to speak to larger things and be light in darkness, even in larger issues, because the right doors open when you're genuine with real people.
Dave, thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time. You've been very kind, very kind.
My liege.
If you want to reach out to your community, be a little bit kinder. None of us have it together, and you don't have to have it all together. You can even start just by being kind to yourself. And we have prayer partners, prayer lines set up 24/7. You can call any time of day, any time of night. We would love to hear from you. Dave, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, guys. That was awesome. When you read the book of James, it doesn't let you stay comfortable for very long, because James says that faith without works is dead. And that's really strong language. And what he's saying is this: if what we believe never shows up in how we live, then we need to take a closer look at what we're calling faith, because real faith, it moves. James tells us that true religion is caring for those in need. It's practical, it's visible, and it costs us something, and it looks like kindness in action. And kindness, it's not dramatic most of the time. It's often quiet. It can be just checking in on someone. It's meeting a need without being asked, and it's choosing generosity when it would be easier maybe just to hold back. And it's forgiving when pride says don't. It's seeing someone who feels invisible and saying, I see you. That's faith with hands and feet, and you don't need a stage to live that out. You just need a heart that's surrendered to Jesus, because when Christ changes you on the inside, it always begins to show on the outside. And that's why what we're about to share is so powerful, because kindness isn't just something that we talk about, it's something that we live. Around the world right now, simple acts of compassion are bringing hope in some very, very real ways. Well, right now we're going to go over to Carrol, and she's going to tell us how Crossroads Cares is putting faith in action in Ukraine.
Thanks so much, Joe. Well, we can't talk about kindness for an entire show without talking about you, because so many of you are cheering us on. You're praying for us. You are so key to us surviving here. You give, And we're just so grateful for you. Thank you for all your comments on socials. Thank you for the cards that sometimes you send us for our birthdays or remembering different occasions in our lives, you know. And I know that it's not just us. You're kind to the people in your life, and we love you for it. And, you know, if you're like me, sometimes the suffering in our world gets overwhelming. But one of the things that really helps me and strengthens my heart daily is seeing people of faith serve the most vulnerable. It's the church being the church, which is what you're doing. We are at our best when we're meeting people in their hardest moments. You know, that's what I see in Ukraine as we're approaching really a heartbreaking anniversary, 4 years since Russia invaded. And I was just talking to one of our Crossroads Cares partners last week. He reminded me that even though Ukraine is not in the headlines every day, people there are suffering just as much or even more as it did at the war. As a matter of fact, he was telling me some of the challenges are much more severe. But the good news is that's not the end of the story. Some absolutely amazing people like you have come together to make a difference. Take a look.
Years of war have painfully altered this landscape. Lives of countless Ukrainians who once called this land home, either lost or forever changed. For many, the realization that the world they once lived in has been completely destroyed is overwhelming. But the resilience of those displaced by the war is strong, even in the face of such hardships. This is precisely why it is so important to continue to deliver aid.
I'm not the only one. Many of us have lost our homes completely. I am not alone. I am 76 years old. I am from Avdiivka. A huge thank you to our friends and comrades who are helping us. This support is important for us because it's very hard for pensioners to survive. And for workers, too, it's hard to survive. My daughter also works. She has 2 children. She's a single mother raising children on her own.
Without help, it would be very difficult. We wouldn't survive on our own.
It was very, very difficult for us. Here, people took us in. Kind, good people. We also thank our Canadian friends who help us bring everything. Without their help, we couldn't have survived. There are very nice people here who help everyone in difficult times. Thank you to all the friends who help us, both local and Canadian.
Our work continues to grow, thanks to the friends we have. I want to say that they, perhaps, even give us wings. So many people today are open to kindness, to Jesus, to his teachings, and it is precisely because our friends do not stop, because they come to us, because they provide help. This greatly inspires us and gives us strength.
Ed Dixon is one of our Crossroads Cares partners on the ground in Ukraine. As he drives from region to region, village to village, the devastation plays like a loop outside the vehicle windows.
Dave, if you can add a bread for everyone, I'll give them the groceries.
Ed, along with a small team, are delivering much needed aid, in addition to helping relocate displaced people to safety and shelter.
It's very hard to explain to people. Like if I say we evacuated 5,000 people from the war zone, people hear the number, but you don't realize like how many people that is, and how many individuals, and 250,000 families, you know, that we've delivered groceries. If I were to just spend 1 minute telling you about each family, just for 1 minute, and explain what it meant to them, what it meant to that family to receive those groceries, I would be here for 10 days, 24 hours a day, just telling you those stories. People here, they tell me all the time, we will never forget the people who helped us when we needed it the most. And they're extremely thankful to Canadians, to the church, that has helped them. It's changed their lives.
Ukraine has been attacked but they are not defeated. It is only through your continued compassionate giving that partnerships are strengthened and continue to provide aid despite the challenges. Together we have done so much, but our work is not done. Please go to our website at crossroads.ca/Ukraine or call 1-800-265-3100. Your contribution is truly rebuilding lives.
The faces of some of those people, they stay with me. And it's such a privilege to stand with Ukraine in this time. And I know that history is going to say, hey, you know, you were on the right side of that. Canada has stood with Ukraine so strongly. And I'm so grateful to be part of a country that does that. And I'm so grateful to have the chance to help. We've been helping with things like food and water, especially near the front lines, hygiene packages, medical aid, clothing and shoes, blankets, even heaters or generators when we can. And that's really important because this winter's been extra cold, like a really brutal winter, not just here in Canada, but actually in Russia. Actually in Ukraine, because Russia has been targeting the power grid and the electricity. And most Ukrainians only have power a limited number of hours every day. So it's everyday civilians who suffer. The most vulnerable suffer the worst. People living in orphanages, the elderly, as you saw in that piece, or those experiencing a disability. They can't always leave the front lines. And so they're the ones, you know, who are suffering with many more missiles and drones. It's becoming more dangerous. And so, you know, what we're seeing is people coming to faith because they see people stay. They see these pastors serving and risking their own lives to stay with their community and make a difference. And we just want to empower them, and we just want to help however we can. And I want to invite you to join us, because this is work that I know pleases God's heart when we care for the vulnerable, and we can make a difference with even just a small amount. Whatever you can do, we'd be so grateful for. That number is 1-800-265-3100. Go online at crossroads.ca/Ukraine, and we are just so grateful for everything you do. You empower us to empower the people that are risking their lives there, and it's a privilege. So thank you so much. Let's head over to Joe.
Amen. Thank you so much, Cheryl. You know, I just want to read this portion of scripture. I alluded to it earlier, but I think it really fits with what you've been talking about. James chapter 2, verse 15 and 17. He says, if a brother or sister is poorly clothed and lacking in daily food, and one of you says to them, go in peace, be warmed and filled, without giving them the things needed for the body, what good is that? So also faith by itself does not have works. It is dead. And what you're talking about, it's so close to my heart. You know, I've seen it myself with my own eyes, you know, and as they're coming up to this 4th anniversary, there is a desperateness in people, but there's also something amazing that God is doing in the country. You know, churches are overflowing. People are turning to Him in droves. And I just want to echo what you said, that every little bit you can do really does make a big difference. Buying generators, fuel. So call, please, 1-800-265-3100. Or go online at crossroads.ca/Ukraine and make a gift today. And let's put our faith in action. Let's make this a random act of kindness. What do you say, Cheryl?
Absolutely. You guys are changing the world.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you for your ongoing support of Crossroads, a supporter-funded nonprofit organization and member of the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities. Thanks to faithful people like you, we are able to continue producing 100 Huntley Street. You can write to Crossroads, P.O. Box 5100, Burlington, Ontario, L7R4M2, or visit crossroads.ca to learn more about our programs.
At the end of the day, every heart longs to be loved, truly, deeply, unconditionally. And sometimes the simplest reminder can make the biggest difference. Prayers to share, 100 pass-along notes to love one another is a beautiful way to communicate the life-changing truth of God's love, again and again. Each tear-out note is designed to be shared, offering a Bible verse, a heartfelt prayer, and an inspiring quote that gently points to God's unfailing care. These simple cards create meaningful moments, slipped into a lunch bag, shared with a friend, or given to someone who needs encouragement. With space on the back for your own handwritten message, each note becomes a personal expression of hope, faith, and love. Request yours today with a gift of $40 or more or when you become a new monthly partner. Call 1-800-265-3100 or visit crossroads.ca/love.